Your music?
No.
Oh, yeah. On the first episode of the season of Not Sauce for Work, I am back, and Eagle and Terry are here in studio. We'll pay attention to Aaron Rodgers, because that's all he cares about. We'll talk about ring culture, and the Dolphins, Raiders, and Cowboys compete to win the offseason. Also, Shaq tries his best evasive maneuvers. We'll get into this and much more on this episode of Not Sauce for Work on the Hot Sauce Sports Podcast Network. Welcome everyone, I am returned. You are listening to and perhaps watching.
You are returned?
I am returned.
Returned?
From Hawaii.
I have returned.
Has returned.
Tell me about Hawaii.
It was awesome. It was awesome. I'm curious about your guys' weeks, especially Eagles.
Why?
But
oh yes, we know why. He's wearing it. That's why.
Is he?
Yeah, Packer. He's wearing a Packer sweater.
That's true. Yeah, we'll talk about that too. But there's some other reason I'm curious about his week. I'm having a tough time recovering from this jet lag. Some would say I can't wake up.
Hawaii's a bad jet lag.
Yeah.
Because it's like 6 hours, 5 hours, no?
Wake me up inside.
Was it 5 hours?
What?
5 hours?
Yeah, it's 5 hours, but plus it was daylight savings time, so we also lost an hour. It sucks so much. And like, for some reason, coming back from the West Coast messes me up so much more. It's like I need someone to wake me up inside, and it just doesn't happen.
I thought you were going to transition to like, wake me up. What's that song? Wake Me Up Inside. What the fuck is that song?
You should ask Eagle. He's an authority since he went to see the band this week.
Muse?
I went to go see Muse. And
no, be honest.
Evanescence was opening for them.
We know why you really want.
Oh, that's the song. Yeah, Wake Me Up Inside.
Apparently, I didn't know this until
I thought I was going to take like 3 or 4 references before you knew.
No, I got it immediately.
That's a fantastic song.
It's a great song. Apparently, when they wrote it, they did not have the rap/male vocalist on the track. The studio refused to sponsor them, essentially, and fund the development of their album and release it if they didn't include that on it, because the studio was worried that it wasn't going to be relatable since it was a new sound, and so they wanted something that audiences could grasp onto.
They kind of like,
and so they were like, kind of like, okay, I guess we'll do it type of thing. And then it turns out it got to the Daredevil soundtrack and then exploded.
I was gonna say, if
good
not
fucking choice.
Yeah.
if not for that song, we would never have had Ben Affleck as Daredevil, and the worst comic book movie.
That's
ever
a
made.
very good point. Are they? Is Triple X a comic book? Was Triple X a comic book? Sorry.
Triple X the movie?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe
it wasn't.
so.
Okay, because I would have said that would have been the
Diesel
worst.
Productions.
Yeah, awful. No idea what I was about to say. Go for it.
I don't know if they're doing
Evanescence. Are they a one-hit wonder?
No.
How many songs?
Name another song. You just went to see your favorite band. So
favorite
My
band.
Immortal.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Oh,
December.
Yeah,
So two-hit wonder.
You Only Call Me When You're Sober.
Oh, that's them.
I thought that was Avril Lavigne.
No, Avril Lavigne doesn't do that kind of shit.
No, just this.
Avril
Lavigne
Lavigne is like Skater Boy, man. Like she's not doing that.
There's another one which is like Sound Over or something. There's like they have 4 albums. The first one is by far the one that everyone knows them for.
Okay, so 4 albums, you have a fan base.
Yeah.
Like I'm like a huge Alexis on Fire fan, but not many people know them, right? So it's like and they just
Alex
came out
is
that
on Fire.
Whatever, but Hardo's like
it is
Alexis on Fire.
But technically, I think it is supposed to be Alex is on Fire. Because it doesn't make sense. Alexis on Fire. It's not grammatically correct. Even though
but
it's not a
band
sentence.
names have to be grammatically correct.
It's also one word. The whole thing.
Yeah, but it's like Walk the Moon.
So wait.
Yeah.
You're worried
Walk
that
to the
Alexis on Fire doesn't make sense, but it being one word is grammatically correct.
No, I'm not saying it's grammatically correct, but if you pronounce it Alex is on fire, it's better than pronouncing it Alexis on Fire.
I think it's
so you can
Alexis on Fire.
Yeah, I think it's what it is X is on fire.
That's it.
X is on fire.
X is on fire.
Fire A. There's an accent aigu at the end. You know what I mean? For us French people.
Yeah, no, it was. I'm glad that you got to see your favorite band again, Eagle, and Evanescence.
5th time I see Muse.
Yeah,
really? Yeah.
They must be opening for Evanescence all the time.
Yes, they are.
I don't know why. I was like, as soon as I saw you post that, I was like, that's what I'm opening the show with. I don't know why. I feel like I need to bust Eagles balls. It's going to be a bust Eagles balls show in general.
What's the last concert you went to?
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
You couldn't buy tickets online when Peeze went to go see a concert last.
Yeah. You know what?
You have to go. You have to go.
You know what?
Go to the box office.
You have to go scalp.
It might have been back when Lady A was Lady Antebellum.
I don't even know who those two people are.
It's like a country group ish thing. The country group alternative rock.
Just got into country a year ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
All I know
It's
is
strange
Luke
because you like
Combs.
alcohol. So
Yeah, weird.
yeah, I think it might have been that. I don't remember. It's been a long time.
I don't even know when the last.
I went to
my
the
last
Tea
concert
Party
is.
reunion because I got an invite
I saw Chili Peppers in Toronto.
Oh.
In
I saw Chili
September
Peppers
or August, whenever it was.
as well.
I saw them in Oshiaga.
I've been to Oshiaga once. I didn't see Chili Peppers though. I saw Eminem.
I've been 3 times actually to Oshiaga.
I went in 2000.
That's the Montreal Music Festival, by the way, for those
Yeah.
listening who don't know.
Yeah.
Oshiaga's the best.
I don't do.
I saw Black
outdoor
Keys.
festivals.
It's not
I saw Black Keys as well.
the
long
Black
time ago,
Keys.
though.
I haven't seen the
Porcupine
Black
Tree.
Keys. I saw
Also saw Porcupine Tree.
The
3
Weekend
times.
when he wasn't popular, surprisingly. That was at
Queen-
Metropolis. That was a crazy show.
Yeah, that must
Uh,
have been cool.
I got dragged to that one, though. But hey,
I was
turns
supposed to- I
out
was
they were
supposed to-
right.
I was supposed to go to Challenge Gambino. I regret missing that.
Yeah, that
I've
was
seen
good.
Alex on Fire 3 times.
I-
Killers twice.
I couldn't go, and Duke was supposed to go in my not in my place, but he was going with you instead. And like I just couldn't go that day. And then like the day of, he's like, "Hey, do you want my ticket to Challenge Gambino?" I was like, "I mean, I wanted to go in the first place. You said you were going, and I still can't. I'm still working." You know?
But yeah, that's the one I regret not going to. I've seen Bob Dylan, my first ever concert. I was like 15 years old.
That's cool.
My mom's store won like a radio contest, so they got like the whole company. I got like a box at Stade Uniprix, Jarry Park at the time, but you couldn't hear anything. And it's Bob Dylan at fucking 70 years old. He's
Yeah.
not really.
I mean,
He was
still-
he
it's
already
cool to have
mumbled.
seen Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I have that. Like I could say my first ever concert was Bob Dylan.
I saw Phil
Volta,
Collins.
Foster the People.
Oh,
What else did I do?
those are good ones. I've seen Billy Talent, 3 Days Grace, Velvet Revolver.
I saw
Seen Dream
Usher.
Theater a couple times.
Ooh, Usher.
Dream Theater I've seen a couple times.
Oh,
Rush
Dream,
I've seen a couple
Dream
times.
Theater I'd be down to see. Slipknot I've always wanted to see. Metallica as well. The Hip we
I've
missed
seen
them.
Metallica. I've seen Megadeth.
The Hip I missed. I would love to see the Hip.
Yeah.
I've seen both your moms.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hey,
You
you
have-
in what army?
It's factual. You've seen my mother.
Segment ended.
So yeah, let's
People are listening. They're like, they just rattle off any band at this point.
yeah. Well, let's get into the news then.
If Duke was here, he'd be very upset with this graphic.
Oh, because he said he was going to do it. So if he's here, you should see how disappointed I am that he didn't do it.
Going all around. Darius the news.
It's music to my ears. Is it though?
It is. It is. Let's talk about Karen Rodgers.
Karen Rodgers.
I think I said this about a year ago where we had this conversation and your opinion at the time was Aaron Rodgers doesn't give a shit or whatever. And I was like, I think it's the opposite. He seems the
Yeah.
most giving a shit
I'm on
of
that.
anyone. And like
I'm on that
sort of-
bandwagon right now too.
for a long time I was the defender, like, but they don't give him the weapons. And I heard this theory and I kind of agree about him. Is that it's not that he doesn't want to win a championship. It's that he wants to be the reason and also have excuses to point out as to why he didn't win. That's how it's starting to feel.
That's exactly my perception of Aaron Rodgers today.
Currently, yeah.
Post Joe Rogan experience, that has been my perception of Aaron Rodgers. Is that not that I disagreed with anything he's saying. It's just it's my perception. I'm not saying he lied about anything. I don't know what he lied about. I don't really care.
Well, he lied because he would have been suspended otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, there's that.
So but that was my whole thing. Is like, it's fine. You got away with not getting suspended. Great, dude. But then like, you can't also be like, I didn't lie.
If you're a guy who doesn't like attention
Yeah.
and you want to go into darkness retreats and do all these things, you're not the guy that goes live on Tuesday on YouTube
week.
with one of the top 3 sports podcasts where
Yeah.
the most NFL fans watch every fucking week with your ex-teammate and a fucking legend, Pat McAfee. You don't do that if you're the type of guy who doesn't like attention. You don't marry Olivia Munn if you don't like attention. You don't marry Danica Patrick if you don't like attention. You don't marry Shailene Woodland, whatever her name is, Woodley, if you don't like attention.
John Mulaney would like your attention.
If you don't like attention, you do what Derek Jeter did, and you do everything
just give
under the
a
wraps.
bunch of women gift
baskets with signed baseballs. That's what you do. But not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers likes to be the guy that acts like he doesn't care, but he so does care.
Yeah.
So does care.
He's to me the Joe Rogan interview showed me that he's the kind of person who cares because again, a lot of people made it clear they didn't care and they were gonna stand by their beliefs.
Yeah, like Djokovic.
Yeah. And like, okay, cool. Like, I don't necessarily agree, but at the same time, that's who you're going to be. That's who you're going to be, right?
Yeah.
But Aaron Rodgers kind of wanted it both ways. And then, despite all of the research he did on the vaccine, he signed for the team owned by the heir to Johnson & Johnson.
That's the funniest part about this is that it's fucking Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah.
Woody Johnson. I didn't even know he was Woody Johnson.
He's one of the Johnsons.
He's one of the Johnsons. He's half
along
a
with the Johnson on the sex tape.
He's
that,
one
Adam
half.
Gay still owns.
Is he the first or the second Johnson?
I need to research.
Can you confirm if Woody Johnson
which Johnson he is?
Is he the first Johnson or the second Johnson?
This.
Thank you.
If a simple Google search, because if this was back when Peeze had to buy concert tickets, Eagle, you would have had to go to a library.
You have to mail them. You have to go to microfiche.
Yeah, like
did you ever use microfiche?
I've never heard of microfiche. Is this like a
Really?
MySpace thing?
No, you would like go in front of a screen.
Yeah.
And you would be able to scroll through scanned pages of newspapers.
Oh yes,
and
of course I've done that. Yeah, library.
Yeah, you were in history.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah,
actually
of course.
3 Johnsons, by the way.
Johnson
There's
Johnson.
Robert Wood Johnson,
That has to be
James
Woody.
Wood Johnson, and
Oh, no,
Edward Meade Johnson.
Okay,
So which Johnson got cut?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who didn't make the 53?
Is it Johnson & Johnson, and we just been calling it Johnson & Johnson because we're lazy?
He shows up. He shows up constantly in the news.
Or
like,
is Woody
I'm
Johnson?
also Johnson.
Or is Woody Johnson the one that got cut? And because like,
No, he's the heir. Like he gets the fortune, basically. Apparently,
fuck, maybe Aaron Rodgers wants that fortune.
maybe.
Maybe he's got a sex tape.
Speaking of fortune, though,
he could buy it on eBay from Adam Gase.
so I do, maybe I'm biased here, but here's my thoughts on this, right? Not only does Aaron Rodgers not want to play for the Packers and he has selected the Jets, he also wants all his friends to come with him.
Yeah.
And so
The ones that they weren't good enough to help him to win, according to him.
Well, we could talk about the Schefter thing, right? So the Schefter tweets out and he says, and he screenshots like the conversation that he was having
my
with
number or whatever.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
nice
I
try,
thought that was
though.
a funny move. by
It is.
Schefter.
Yeah, it is good. I like that.
But I'm genuinely
He's trying to gain
curious as
points.
to how you see this playing out from the Packers front office. Because here's my perspective: if you're the GM, you have all the power in the world to control what's going to happen here, and so you have to
Yes
make a
and no.
decision.
The agents have more power than you can
Yeah,
imagine.
exactly.
Okay, fine, but you have to make a decision in terms of: am I really going to give up Rodgers plus all the assets he wants to come with him for whatever you're going to get in return for the Jets? Or do you say, fuck you, retire, and I'm going to go with Love anyways, in which case then you're giving away basically just Rodgers, whatever his value was explicitly, but keeping everything else? And if not, well, you have to play for me anyways, so go fuck yourself type of thing. And I feel like the Packers camp has reached that point where they don't give a shit about what Rodgers wants anymore in the same way. Now they're just in it for themselves.
Well, there is like a press release. I'm trying to find it here from the Packers, and it's basically, it's like a long thing about how they don't want to force Aaron to make a decision he doesn't want to do. They're basically saying like we don't want him back, but it kind of trying to end it so he doesn't say anything bad about. It's like it's like when you're in a bad relationship and you just want to kind of be very nice to the person, so when it ends, they're not like just like shooting you or fucking throwing you into the mud and revealing all your secrets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's exactly what the Packers are doing with Rodgers.
I will say this though, like, because first of all,
And I don't think it's that bad of a situation. Sorry, I don't think it's that bad of a situation where that Aaron Rodgers, if he's gonna change his whole life to move to New York, that he asks, "Can you bring 1 or 2 guys with me?"
so
I don't think it's a bad thing for him to do.
no, I
Because
don't.
Brady did it, and nobody said a fucking thing.
No, so it's not that. So here's first of all, I like Aaron Rodgers as a player. His ability to me, before Patrick Mahomes existed in my life, I said he was the greatest, most skilled quarterback I'd ever seen play the position. He will never have the accomplishments Brady had. I still think he's the most talented I'd ever seen play the position until I saw Patrick Mahomes. Now, just talent. It was Dan Marino, then him, and now Pat Mahomes.
Okay, well, so I mean, Tony Romo has to be there somewhere.
No,
right?
look, I love Romo. He's not that. He's not like I love Romo. He's not that.
I used to be Tony Romo Hall of Fame, and I'm not.
I'm border.
Yeah.
Like
After I look at his numbers, I'm like,
it's just like when you see Stafford's numbers, it's like that's so much better.
yeah, if he didn't play for the Cowboys, like what are
Yeah.
we talking about here? You know,
Fair. But he didn't play as long either. To be fair.
That's a good point.
But
Well, he had like 9 or 10 years,
yeah, which is nothing now in the Brady and Rodgers world. That means nothing.
and he was a late bloomer. You know.
But the other thing the other part of this, which I find interesting, is, this is the second time this happens with a Packers quarterback, an all-time great first ballot Hall of Famer, basically, and they have a messy divorce with that player with Brett Favre and now Aaron Rodgers. And it makes me think, what about that organization leads this to happen?
Why they want to
Like, why is it
run away
twice
to
now
New
that
York?
they run their guy out of town
To New
in a
York
very
specifically.
publicly embarrassing way?
Because the thing is, they don't have. I mean, I don't know how these things work when it comes to the ownership, because it's a group, right? It's
They're
not.
publicly owned,
Yeah, they're publicly owned.
and they
It's
have
not-
a CEO, like a
so it's
Fortune
not,
500
It's
company.
not the same. It's not the same as the Cowboys. They don't have like a front man. Like the CEO is, but what's his name?
I don't even remember.
No, but I don't think Eagle. Do you know his name? CEO of the Packers.
The person who's in charge of the trust.
Yeah.
Gulenberg or something.
All right. See, Gulenberg or something from the fan of the Packers.
Gulenberger or something.
Gulenberger or
I would order one.
I would definitely order a Gulenberger. There's
2
a lot,
4-ounce patties.
for sure, a lot of cheese on that.
Oh, straight up
Yeah,
cheese.
yeah.
American
Yeah,
cheddar.
America. Cheddar. That
y-
yellow cheese.
yeah,
The best. Love that shit.
It's
Singles.
good.
I eat singles by itself.
I
Crab
don't
singles?
eat that. I don't
The
eat plastic.
the thick ones.
Yeah. You know why they use singles on burgers, by the way?
What?
They
Melt faster?
they don't melt onto the griddle.
Technically,
They
it's
just
Mark
kind
of- yeah.
Murphy, who is the chairman,
Oh, Mark
CEO,
Murphy.
president, but
Yeah.
Brian Gutenkust is the
Gut-
GM, who
Gutenkust.
basically makes
But-
it.
Oh, he's the
Murphy's
GM.
face
Good.
of
Okay,
the-
he's the GM.
of the team. Yeah.
All right, there you go. We're idiots.
He was. I used to call him the fat safety because he was a fat safety.
He was a fat safety.
He was like a linebacker converted to safety, but like in the 80s where guys were not in the same shape that they're in now.
Yeah, in the 80s, where linebackers are the size of our D linemen now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, so the other thing to consider though is Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show says that what's holding it up is the organizations, but I don't know this, but I know I've spoken to people who do know this, that the trade compensation was agreed to weeks in advance.
Okay. Okay.
Before the darkness retreat.
Okay.
It was that if Aaron chooses this destination, this is the trade. We're good.
And the Jets had one?
What?
The Jets had an offer?
It's done.
Okay, it was
The
already
agent
done.
and the team figured it out, went to the Packers, and they said, these are the teams. If it's the Jets, this is the package. We're good. Yes, we're good. Aaron goes to the darkness to figure out what to do.
Fuck, imagine the Packers ownership. They're like, I'm sweating because this guy wants to go and do mushrooms in the dark.
Yeah.
This is what we're dealing with
Which
here.
also, by the way, he's going to be speaking at a psychedelics conference.
Yeah, I
or
saw
something.
that. Of course he is.
The
Denver.
New York media is going to have a field day.
In Denver.
Yeah. Well, it has to be.
Do they have a quarterback?
Russell Wilson?
Answer my question again.
They traded 1,000 assets.
Answer my question again.
Whether they do or don't, they do.
Answer my question again. Do they have a quarterback? They have a guy who throws the
Yes.
ball. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes he holds on to it and gets sacked on third down.
For no reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the darkness retreat,
But that's it. Like so
the trade went through.
So I know that the compensation was agreed to in advance.
Yeah.
Like I can say with about 90% certitude.
Okay.
Certitude? Is certitude a word?
It is. Servitude is a word, but it's not.
Not that word.
Can't
That's
use
not
it
what I'm
here.
saying.
I mean, it is sports, so kind of.
Certitude?
No, he's making a servitude joke.
Oh. Malaka.
Yeah. Yeah, servitude. I know it with the 90% servitude. And so it's strange that he's now saying, oh, it's not me holding this up. It's after making a demand for them to go get all these players.
Yeah. It's like, did Alan Lazard sign?
Alan Lazard signed.
So
think they're
what's
waiting on
going
Mercedes
on?
Lewis.
So what's going on?
Well, because he wants us to talk about him for 2 more weeks. That's the thing. That's the thing he's wanted this whole time.
Is he doing it on purpose
It feels like it.
to mock people like me and you that
Yeah.
think that he's faking it?
Yeah. Eags, remind me, tell me if I'm wrong, but didn't he do this last year where he said he was going back to the Packers and then signed like 2
Yeah.
weeks later?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was the opposite actually. The news reported on it, and he said, "Hold on, we're not done yet." It was the opposite.
So the same thing he just did to Schefter.
Yep.
Okay.
Poor guy. Poor Shefty. He's trying to get a leg up on everybody else, and he just
Yeah.
gets Aaron Rodgers.
In lesser related news, Jimmy G going to the Raiders. Excuse me. After they let Derek Carr walk.
Well, that was another destination potentially for Rodgers, right? So in a sense, it is a
Well,
big move.
In our group, I said that like once Jimmy G went to the Raiders, I was like, well, that means Aaron Rodgers' decision's made, because the Raiders are not going to make a move unless they know for sure they're not getting Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
for
also Rodgers was never going to the Raiders to begin with in reality, because think about who he has to play. Right, he's not playing his Detroits and Chicago's. He's playing like actual contenders, and he's not going to
But
like
if he
that.
goes to the Jets, Dolphins are better. The Bills are better. The Patriots?
I mean, the Jets.
Not
The
great,
Jets,
but they're well coached.
Yeah,
but the Jets
have a
with
team
Alan
that can win.
Lazard have a good receiving core.
Let's stop talking about Alan Lazard. Like
Offensive line, no, but offensive line is good.
Yeah.
Defense is very good.
Yeah, it's the Jets, though.
Brees Hall.
It's the Jets.
I understand it's the Jets, but like if you look at it
Okay.
from this perspective.
So in November, can I just straight up laugh at you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Can we clip this, play it over and over and over, and I'm going to laugh at you?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'm not
'Cause-
denying that we know. Like, remember, I said this a few weeks ago. Well, in last season, I said it. Is that we know who's going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
We know.
Roughly, yeah.
At the beginning of the, it's not that it's scripted, but it kind of is, right?
I mean, it's not scripted. You just know based on who you... Like, if you've watched the game, you know who's good.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you might get a surprise, but generally, what are you going to think the Chiefs are not going to make the
Yeah, exactly.
the playoffs?
No,
Like,
but you
come
know
on.
who's going to be in. The same thing in hockey. You can kind of get an idea very early on who's going to be
Yeah.
in. And I can say that the Jets will fight for it.
Yeah. They're
But
going to be...
other than the Bills, who kind of took they took a step backwards last year.
Yeah.
The fact that they couldn't get to the championship.
Hey,
Patriots
they
are
almost
gonna
lost
be
to
nowhere
Skylar Thompson in the playoffs.
Crazy.
Patriots are going to be nowhere close.
Yeah, Patriots forget
But
about
again,
it.
like the Patriots, fine, but they're still going to be well coached. They're still going to be prepared. They're still going to be. They're not going to be an easy out. They're not the Lions. They're not
Miami's good.
the Bears.
Miami's good. I mean, listen, it's a tough division. It's a tough division next season if Aaron Rodgers is in that division for sure.
Yeah, of course.
But imagine you have Rodgers, you have Tua, you have Jake Allen, and you got Mac. Like that's like a crazy.
I don't think.
Other than
Mac
Mac
Jones to me is a career backup, and I thought so since I saw him at Alabama.
No, I don't think he's a career
Career
backup.
backup.
I think he'll have like.
He's to me like one of those guys who's just like Andy Dalton.
Is
If you
he-
have Andy Dalton as a backup, you have a great backup.
Does he have Andy Dalton is the best backup in the history of the NFL?
We're going to be saying that about Mac Jones in 7 years.
Yeah, Andy Dalton is fantastic as a backup.
Yeah. Mac Jones.
Throw Nick Foles in there too as a backup.
Just you should dye all their hair red.
There's like 12 people that were like the best backups.
Hmm?
You know what I mean? Like there's
Absolutely.
guys that could just come in.
Doug Flutie.
Chase Daniel, like that's a good backup. Like he's always available for some reason.
Charlie Whitehurst.
You went inside my mouth.
Yeah.
And you took the words out.
It's just I just pictured all of the sex of his slick back hair.
so much sex.
Holding, dude, I once heard an interview with him where he was hanging out in a pool at Jules' house. Like he lived the best life.
Jewel, she sings "Sweet Dreams." Is that what it is?
No, something Save Your Soul.
Yeah, Save Your Soul. Who can save
That's the one.
your soul?
Excellent rendition.
Yeah,
You got the cover here by Terry Tam.
Jules.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't understand the Jimmy G hate on Twitter. By the way,
It's because
good.
It's because he's cute.
Who's he going to check down to with
It's 'cause
Vegas?
Jimmy G.
it's a lot of screen passes to
Well, listen,
Devontae Adams.
listen. Him and Kittle had a decent thing going. Him and Waller are gonna. Have
Waller is in New York.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a giant. It'll be
When did that
Foster
happen?
Moreau
when did that happen?
like 2 days ago.
Oh, okay, I don't know that.
But he's back with McDaniels. Build him.
Oh yes, I heard about this. Yeah, okay. All right, that just fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones though, making money.
Yeah, he'll be a very good backup in 7 years.
Daniel Jones is one of the best backups you've ever seen. But Daniel Jones makes more money than Connor McDavid.
and
he makes more money than Lamar Jackson.
more money than Lamar
Oh, I
Jackson.
mean, that's another problem we have. But Lamar Jackson's making zero money, so everybody's making as much money as.
Well,
more
so
money
making
than him.
zero money.
He's
right
making
now he has-
37 million.
He has no contract right now. Oh, because they're gonna tag.
They're gonna
him.
tag.
They
They
tagged
tag
him,
They're
yeah.
gonna tag him.
So,
But he
why-
doesn't have an agent, right?
he doesn't have an agent.
His mama's his agent.
So I have a theory.
I just don't understand it.
I have like we saw this in with Aaron Judge in the summer. Sorry, in the winter, where there was not really a bidding war for him, and the bidding just sort of stopped and dried up,
Yeah.
and it was basically like the Yankees and the other owners basically the Yankees basically saying like, look, we're gonna match any other offer.
Any offer.
Don't be jerks. Let's not make these salaries go crazy.
Yeah.
We're all gonna pay the price of this.
Exactly.
And this kind of feels the same way.
and there's revenue sharing, right? So it's like the bottom gets paid by the top and all that shit. Right?
Ish, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
But
that's
then
how
if
it
you have your
works.
own network like the Yes Network, that doesn't count.
But that works in the NHL too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I like that. It keeps everybody
The
above.
NFL has
above water.
national contracts, so it doesn't matter.
The NHL is actually considering bringing a team back to Atlanta for the third time.
It never works. They don't care about hockey. I'm there all the time.
But when the Thrashers were in town, there were the top two jersey sales at the time were Michael Vick #1, obviously, and Ilya Kovalchuk #2.
Before or
but
after
they're not
dogs?
going to go to
Sorry?
the games.
Before Dogs, when he was playing for that line. Yeah,
They-
I know that's the problem.
I mean,
They're
it's
not
Atlanta.
going to go to the games.
Yeah, but Bettman only cares about ad revenue.
I don't know. It looks
And
pretty
TV
bad when you
and
have
TV
nobody
deals.
there.
It does. Look at Arizona.
But yeah, so when it comes to Lamar Jackson though, Why is it that no one's making an offer? Like, okay, Carolina trades up for the first overall pick. They're not gonna.
Because who are they negotiating with?
I mean, but it's not like he's going in alone. He has a legal team. He has lawyers. Like,
Does he though?
Yes. He just doesn't have an agent. So you pay an hourly rate instead of 10%
but
or 4% or
but
whatever.
you pay the lawyer to do what you tell him to do.
Go give me a contract.
An agent knows better. Lawyers will.
I don't think at Lamar.
will go through arbitration.
But I don't think at
and do
Lamar
all this
Jackson's
shit.
level it matters. I think it matters if you don't know, like if it's unknown talent, right? But like
Yeah,
if a guy who's at the top,
he doesn't need an agent.
like what does the agent really do? Like if you have the sickest house in the city
I mean,
and it's a great price, you don't need a real estate agent.
agents at the top like Drew Rosenhaus and Boris and the NHL like Walsh and Brisson, these guys, they negotiate the big contracts, but you pretty much know what you're gonna get, right? Like Suzuki. Everybody knew what he was going to get, what contract he was going to get, because there's trends. You follow the trends.
Yeah.
In the NFL, it doesn't, especially when quarterbacks, I feel like it doesn't fit
Well, the trend is every next guy is the next highest paid guy. At
Yeah,
one point,
exactly,
Eli Manning
yeah.
was the highest paid quarterback. And
that.
then
Crazy.
It was Joe Flacco. And
Yeah.
it's just, but it's based on what the market is.
Kaepernick, too. I
Jackson
think.
wasn't asking for max plus, right? He was asking for like
He wanted as a guarantee because of the way he plays and because of the way Baltimore plays him. He wanted the guarantee that Deshaun Watson got, which in his defense, he didn't sexually assault anyone that we know of.
I mean, listen, if you're looking at like pros and cons, let's make a pros and cons list.
Yes, you have a legal pad. Let's use it.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well, right?
All right, pro. No sexual assault that we know of.
This is for Lamar,
Yeah.
pro. No sex assault.
I'm sold.
Con.
MVP.
Con. Oh, MVP. Sorry.
We'll go cons. Yeah, con next.
No agent.
No agent.
Why is that a con though?
It's a con for context.
Okay. I like the honesty. Perfect.
Yeah, it's a con for context. I
heard for content. I was like, great.
Oh, content too. Both. Yeah, both. And
Injury prone, let's put it in the con category. Because you don't want to pay
Injury-prone?
guaranteed money on a guy who's likely to get hurt.
is he like?
It's the NFL. Everyone's likely to get
Yes,
hurt.
but he's more likely to get hurt because, like you said, of how he's like ran and played. And
We
the
saw
whole
a
thing.
wide receiver play quarterback for Denver a year ago.
Okay, so con is
He's
low-
been injured. Injury
low-
history. Let's put it
low
out.
ceiling. No, actually, no.
Low ceiling?
His ceiling is.
He has an MVP.
Okay, injuries. Whatever. Just boring talk, right? here. Injuries. Okay, what else? Pros and cons. Pro.
He's a black quarterback. There, I'm saying it.
I don't even know if that's a pro or con.
It's definitely a pro.
It's a factor.
It's not a con, Eagle. It's definitely a pro.
In terms of contract negotiations, I would actually say that is a con, unfortunately.
Yeah, because he's gonna make more money.
No, he's going to make less money.
Typically,
Because he's a character problem.
character
quote-unquote.
problem, or
Oh, okay. So
Or
you're,
is that
you're,
what-
He's not a leader in the room.
so you're
When he-
thinking,
when
you're thinking
he's-
about Rodger Goodell.
when
Okay.
he's athletic and could get hurt, but Steve Young was athletic and also got hurt but wasn't injury
Who
prone.
was that injured? Okay, I get it. Yeah. Okay, it makes sense now. So
My favorite draft ever was
So it's a push. It's a push.
yeah, it's a push. Put it in the middle, put right on the line, race. But so I remember
He's a centrist.
I remember the covering when it was the draft coverage when it was Andrew Luck and Robert Griffin III, and they said two things. Robert Griffin III, surprisingly accurate. In college, for
surprisingly accurate.
the first 4 games, he had more touchdowns than incompletions. Surprisingly accurate.
I saw him his freshman year. I watched him live.
They said Andrew Luck surprisingly athletic. He was a decathlete in college. A decathlete. He's athletic in 10 sports. Surprising.
It doesn't mean that decathlete.
Decathlete.
No, but it's 10. But it's 10 events. It's not like
Bro, 10 events.
he's not.
I've never done 10 things in one day of my life.
I get it, but like if I'm playing volleyball,
At most, I'm doing 4 things a day.
I'm not a volleyball athlete. You know what I mean?
In
Okay.
the cons category, can we put ownership collusion? Because the moment that they announced that they were going to franchise tag him, essentially, right?
He asked for
Within
ownership.
the hour, there were
Leaks.
like 8 teams that were like, "Now we're good." And it was like, how did you make a determination in 60 minutes whether or not this was in your plans or
But
not?
somebody's gonna.
The
maybe-
Colts. What are you doing, the Colts?
Exactly.
The Colts. The Colts.
Who do they have?
I don't. It's not Lamar Jackson.
Isn't it Jacoby Brissett?
It might be.
Is it Curtis Painter?
Who's the next old quarterback they can sign?
They did sign an old quarterback. Oh, they have fucking Matt Ryan.
Oh, it's Matt Ryan. There we go.
They have an old quarterback.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
An old white quarterback.
Atlanta too.
Atlanta has Mariota.
Yeah.
I'm still on Mariota.
Stop.
Darnold, Mariota.
Texans?
The book's not out on them.
Which book?
They have long neck of the law, Mills.
Titans?
They got Tanny, and don't they have like a young guy?
Now remember, you're making a decision to
Malik
keep
Willis.
those quarterbacks and not get Lamar Jackson, former MVP.
There's also all these guys are in the top 5. All these teams you mentioned. There's 2 quarterbacks that you can draft in the top 5.
Yeah, 3 even.
3, okay. There you go. There's your answer.
But again, why would you
San
gamble on
Francisco.
brand new unknown talent when you get a literal MVP?
Because you get Bryce Young at a fraction, and they pretty much have the same skill set. They have a big arm,
Or they
he's
don't.
shorter.
Okay,
You don't know if he'll be good.
Here's a team, the Jets.
Well, the Jets are just waiting. They're just waiting for Karen to show up. They're waiting for Karen to
They're
get
the ones,
get
like-
out of the office of HR.
Here's a team,
They're gonna
the
throw
Packers.
everything. They're gonna throw everything at him, right? Like if they don't get Aaron Rodgers,
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
everything.
Okay, this is the only thing I saw.
take every draft pick.
This guy I follow, he's a Jets fan, and he's like, if they fuck this up, the Jets fans will leave in droves, or whatever the word is.
Crones.
Like, Crones. They're gonna leave.
Like
in Crones.
evacuate your bowels.
Yeah.
Like Crones.
They're just
Leave in
gonna-
Crones.
There's gonna be so many Jets fans that jump ship.
Jump
and
ship.
if the only saving grace they have is if Aaron Rodgers doesn't procrastinate for the next 2 weeks, Karen Rodgers, if he doesn't procrastinate and they end up signing Lamar Jackson, that's the only way the Jets don't lose half their fan base, I think. Because if they fuck this up,
They will.
what do they do? What do the Jets fans do?
Cry and complain again.
They're not in a position to
they
draft a quarterback like a franchise quarterback.
Well, they have one in Zach Wilson. The book's not written.
I mean,
You know, he said he's going to give competition to the veteran QB they bring in.
I saw that. Yeah, that's
But
funny.
like, what do you want him to say? Like, oh no,
It's
my
the
life
best
is terrible.
Last year was a tough year for me. I'm adapting to the NFL.
Oh my
This year, I'm
God.
going to come back stronger.
So boring.
Oh,
Cut.
man. You know what?
I'm going to fuck your mom.
There we go.
exactly
Where's my number?
That's what you're looking for. Leadership.
But I love that though. Like Schefter fucking calls him out on it. He's like, "Lose my number," like a baby.
Yeah.
Such a baby.
Jalen Ramsey goes to the Dolphins. Stephon Gilmore goes to the Cowboys. How do you feel about losing out as a Cowboys fan on Jalen Ramsey?
I mean, it's the same thing. Him and Gilmore, fine. They're both like older corners. Like,
Gilmore's older though, isn't he?
Gilmore is
He
older.
plays older.
I'm not happy. I'm not that.
I
I'm
think
not.
he's fine.
I'm not like, oh my God, it's Stephon Gilmore. He's 2 years removed from his crazy year. He's also played on the Pats defense that are always pretty good. Like there's always a
Yeah.
corner that comes out of there. It's good. I'm not saying he's bad. Like he's obviously fantastic.
Are cornerbacks
But
the new
Cowboys
running
all-
backs?
No, they've always kind of been the same. If you
Well,
think
no,
about it.
because it was just Deion Sanders that got paid back in the day.
No, in terms of money, yes, but in terms of like the role
They're
that they play,
disposable after
there's
3
always-
to 5 years.
yeah, there's always the one DB, the one corner that you're a shutdown guy. You know what I mean? There was the Pac-Man Jones, the Asante Samuels, the whoever it is, like all these names. Daryl
Eli
Revis.
Apple.
Eli Apple for like 14 seconds when he got drafted.
He's so
He
bad.
got drafted by the Giants. I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
Giants.
They just drafted him for his name.
yeah,
Big Apple.
For Big Apple. And how he missed is a fucking doofus.
He's so bad. He's so bad.
So and running backs back then too is the same thing. You always had your one guy, right? And now it's become DB by committee because it's a passing offense, and running back by committee because it's a passing offense. So it's like it's the way the NFL's become.
There needs to be no salary structure for rookie running backs. It's not fair that they don't make enough money and get their bodies used the most.
Yeah, exactly.
It's horrible.
Like a guy like Derrick Henry who doesn't have a term right now. He doesn't have a contract, right?
Austin Eckler is not getting extended, which
Like-
is crazy.
like-
he scored 40 touchdowns in the last 2 seasons.
But he's also
40 touchdowns.
I know, but he's also he's a very injured guy.
He's not.
But they also are gonna have to pay people. These guys, they have
Yeah.
fucking high.
I get
players.
it, but nobody else is paying him.
But running backs,
It's
it's exactly what we're saying.
Zeke ruined the market, and
Zeke annihilated the market.
because it's like everyone looks at that and
Did he sign anywhere?
no, he hasn't signed yet.
I have Tony Pollard on our keeper.
Yeah.
$1.
They're gonna draft someone, don't worry.
Yeah, they're gonna draft. Somebody. They're definitely gonna draft somebody.
So yeah, I'm curious to see how that all shakes out. The NCAA tournament started, and while we could talk about ridiculous ending between Furman and Virginia, you guys skipped out on a story last week that to me is the most interesting story of the tournament. Darius Miles is not playing for Alabama
Oh,
because he killed somebody,
oh,
and their best player, Branden Miller, is the guy who brought him the gun.
oh. Okay, those are the guys from
Yeah,
Alabama.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they played for Alabama.
They play
Okay.
for Alabama. They're the reason they're relevant in college basketball.
And now they're not there, and they're still ranked.
Well,
Number
no,
one.
Branden Miller is playing.
But they're still ranked number 1 without Darius Miles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Branden Miller's he's the guy who's going to be a lottery pick in the NFL, or Braden Miller.
But it still changes the dynamic a bit, don't you find?
Well, yeah, if you're missing one of your starters, of
Like
course.
no, but it changes like your team it got you to the number 1 seed, right? Alabama's number 1 seed in their region, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, they should be.
They won the SEC. Yeah.
Exactly. So now they're going to be playing against when they make it to the Final Four. Either way, they're going to make it to the Final Four if they're considered a 1 seed, right? Right now they're playing 16. Are they going to win? Most likely.
Win, yeah.
And the second round is going to be interesting. Are they going to be able to keep up? Let's see what happens in the first round. We saw fucking Virginia lose today. Who else lost today? Virginia,
and there was another top.
Arizona
lost.
There
That's
you
it.
go. I don't know anything, but I'm just saying you.
It's interesting because like NIL has flipped college basketball. Like we never been talking about like Miami. I saw as a 2 seed.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah.
Alabama as a 1 seed.
Miami. It's
crazy.
We knew it was going to happen to certain schools like UCLA, NYU.
I feel like a lot of small
Imagine
town.
NYU all of a sudden becomes a blue blood.
But they might because the small town schools had an advantage that there wasn't like major journalism covering these small market
yeah, that's a good point.
like Duke and North Carolina.
Yeah.
But like there's money in Miami, there's money in LA. But before when it was all illegal, they kept getting slapped with fines. Miami's football team, USC's football team.
Yeah.
Now that it's all open, like we see that dude John Reese, the Miami booster, constantly bragging about all the money he's giving to players on Twitter. So much so that they're the first team to suffer violations for women's basketball.
What do you mean?
They got fined because he gave money to recruits before they signed, and he bragged about it on Twitter.
Only Miami, man. They live in a different world.
Yeah, they do.
Arizona and Miami, 2 completely different worlds.
But so before the tournament started, one of the last games, Miller was walking out as the team was introduced to sort of a celebration they've been doing all year, but it was kind of a bad look given everything that happened.
There was gunshots.
Eagle, if you like to play the clip.
There was gunshots.
Eagle, if you like to play the clip.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fucking shit, man.
Yeah, let me get it up.
Jesus. I even I slowed it down. It did the whole thing.
We're talking about the pat down. Hold on, let me get it. Here we go.
They did it all year, but like he's being investigated as the guy who brought the murder weapon to a crime scime.
You might as well put a fucking metal
playing
detector.
Anyway.
He might as well walk through a metal detector.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point.
And like the thing is, it's not like a crime like I don't know, insurance fraud or something. Like there's victims here, right? Like there's people's families. This was a woman who was killed when a player shot her in a seemingly like she didn't want to talk to him or didn't want to like it didn't heed his advances, didn't listen to like when he was like trying to hit on her or whatever, and he shot her. Like that was the reason for it. This is a mother of 5.
How is he?
A mother of a
how is he
5-year-old.
playing?
Well, it's not him. He's not. Darius Miles is not playing.
Doesn't matter.
How
is he playing? There's text messages that prove it, right?
well, it's being investigated, right? Like it's not final, but
guess,
yeah,
yeah,
it's weird. It's weird that he's playing,
I guess.
and the fact that you're playing, you're still coming out to that celebration. It's
I
strange.
wouldn't even come out. I wouldn't even let them announce me. I'd be like, don't start.
Yeah,
me.
just
I'll just come in. I'll just
I'll
switch in.
sub me into the first sub,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
first whistle.
Why would I? I don't need to start. I don't need everybody to have my name.
And like the coach was super defensive about it. It was mishandled completely by
Don't
Alabama.
like just own up to it. When you own up to things, people are so much more forgiving. When you
I
own
made
up
a
to
mistake.
things.
I didn't know. I
It's
know what
like-
it was for.
It's like, oh, we didn't. You know what? Our marketing team, our team that does the music and stuff, and our guys, we didn't really think about it. It was our mistake. It's on me. Yada yada. But if he admits that, he probably loses his job if they lose in the first round.
Yeah.
So
Don't bring guns to places.
don't
Like if
offer-
someone takes you like,
What
hey,
about a
bro, can
shooting
you bring a
range?
gun? No.
Hey, okay, I'll meet you at the shooting range. No, I don't need it for that. All right, so no. I'm good,
Yeah.
man. Thanks, appreciate it.
Also, I think
Are
you
you
can
gonna
rent
be-
one at the shooting range.
Are you gonna be in the middle of the Grand Canyon where there's no people around? No. All right, so
No,
sorry.
it's to
man.
shoot someone.
Are you gonna be in that valley where Mufasa died? No. So no, sorry, I'm not gonna do
Well,
it.
bro, like lions matter too, man.
I watched The Lion King for the first time.
Really?
Not first time. It's the
Okay.
first time since I was like a kid.
Okay.
I've seen it before. Fantastic movie.
Great
But till this day, like those 90s and 80s Disney movies, my favorite one is Jungle Book.
I love Jungle Book.
I love Jungle Book.
Love Jungle Book.
Bare necessities, man.
Yeah.
It's a
Simple bare necessities.
Forget about your worries and your strife.
Yeah. It's almost as if something should wake the animals up from within inside. But they can't wake up.
They can't make that.
There's also this clip I wanted to bring up before we get to our new segment. Dame Lillard's been making the rounds.
He should be traded.
Well, but that's part of it. He's talking about, and I included a clip that's a week older, but he's still like he went on the Bleacher Report. I liked the framing in this interview.
How good is Dame Lillard in everything he does?
Awesome.
Nicest guy ever.
Seems that way.
Can be a tough fucking competitor.
Absolutely.
Can talks to the top of his brain. Like doesn't really
Great
filter
rapper.
shit out. I mean, yeah, fantastic shooter. How he's been stuck in Portland and they haven't been able to surround him with people is crazy because Portland's not a small. It's a middle market team. It's a local team, like you would say.
Yeah.
But they have a history. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, a history of losing.
They have a history, but they're one of those teams. It's like Portland's not that bad.
Yeah.
You know,
Their history is that they didn't draft Michael Jordan because they had Clyde Drexler.
I mean, Clyde Drexler. I mean,
They could have had two. They could have had two things.
They could have had who?
Jordan and Drexler.
Why?
Because they passed on Jordan because they had Drexler.
Oh, I thought they drafted Drexler
They did draft Drexler.
that same year.
No, the year before.
Oh.
They drafted, I forget.
So who was the first overall pick that year?
Jordan went 5, I believe.
No, Jordan was the second.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm wrong. Then. I watched the last time. So I'm completely wrong.
Ewing went first.
I watched that Bill Russell documentary.
you went third.
Did you watch the Bill Russell documentary?
I have not, but I've seen Bill Russell documentaries before. I don't know which
Yeah, I
one.
mean it's good. He's interesting, but the documentary sucked on Netflix. I wasn't a huge fan.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Very boring. But he's an interesting person. All his.
Oh, sorry. It was Akeem Olajuwon was drafted first.
Mm.
And I can't see who was drafted
There's
second.
another
so-
guy
but
from
it
like
was
UCLA
terrible.
that was drafted. No, like right ahead of him or something like that.
Oh, Sam Bowie. They picked Sam Bowie.
From UCLA.
I
feel like he played UCLA.
Yes, I
Yes.
think so. Oh, Kentucky.
Okay. Sam Bowie. That's the name I was looking for. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what they're famous
So
for.
imagine they had Clyde Drexler and fucking
That would've
Jordan.
been awesome.
Would Jordan be Jordan if he didn't play for the Bulls?
It's hard to believe he's not Jordan because they had nobody on that team at first.
It's true. Bulls were even worse
They're
than the
terrible.
Portland was at the time.
Yeah.
So imagine.
Yeah. So he's been talking about the concept of rings culture in the NBA. So let's play the clip, and I think it's a really interesting framing for this specific conversation.
Win the championship, just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Better if there's-
well, I'm not even gonna say like everybody else. 'Cause
Yeah.
Everybody don't play
Is
for
that
that.
Alex
But
Not even organizations.
when you know in your heart that you truly train hard and
Is this
take
sound?
care of yourself and do everything
I hear it.
Oh, I don't hear
to
it.
win the championship,
That's
I don't have to prove it to nobody. Like, I don't have to prove it to people that have never done what we've done or what I've done. So, like, never going to let them make me feel like a ring is what's going to make me certified, you know? Like, I know I play to win the championship, but I don't got to go play for the team that y'all tell me to play for to do it, you know? If it comes to that and the team was like, man, we just going to rebuild or whatever, like, I'm not going to be like, no, please keep me,
No,
you know?
you just go somewhere else and be larger than life. If you
I mean,
big,
I'm just standing on what I stand on.
Okay, so leave it up. Eagle, leave it up. Go back. I want to show something.
The podcast is called Point Forward
Point forward.
because they're like Andre Iguodala and Evan Turner were like two of the first point forwards.
If anybody's struggling with their bills, real_legit_daddy_4789 is there to help you.
Thank God.
Okay, struggling to find a way to pay your bills out financially without. Okay, all right, fuck yourself. This is the guy.
Yeah.
No registration fee needed. DM me to get massive blessing immediately.
Yeah, this
That
seems
sounds
like
like
Can
a
we
scam.
DM him to get blessing? Get blessed?
You can DM him.
I'm gonna DM him from the hot sauce account.
Oh my God.
We would-
Let me deactivate.
As if we don't have enough bots.
we would like to be blessed, please.
Please bless us.
Send nudes.
So, on one hand, people talk about Dame Lillard as if like there's a hindrance on his career because he hasn't won a championship. Like he's not one of the greatest shooters we've ever seen.
He's one of the best.
And then
One of the
when
best for
guys
sure.
leave like Kevin Durant, they get slammed for ring chasing. So what's the solution? What's
no,
the solution?
So the thing is that this is the way I see it, is that Kevin Durant had pick of the litter, right?
Yeah.
Pick of the litter. He decided to go to a team that beat him twice,
Okay.
right? So that's the knock on Kevin Durant. It's not necessarily that he's ring chasing. Everybody's chasing a ring. It's what you're in the NBA for. Even Davis Bertans is fucking chasing rings.
Yes. He is.
He's still chasing a rebound, but he's chasing rings.
Under
for
over
sure.
the next 3 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Hot Streak. But with Dame, it's like he's never been given the opportunity, and he was always he is a first, like a number one guy on most teams, but he can easily go be a number 2 guy and dominate and win a championship. But he stuck it out in Portland. They got rid of McCollum. Like, who'd they bring in? They don't really
They
have
drafted
anybody.
Anthony Simmons is really good.
Okay, yeah, he's good. Yeah, you're right. But
But
it's not much.
they replaced McCollum with another McCollum, so I don't know how it's going to
Yeah.
improve. Like
I mean,
he's good. It's not what they need.
yeah.
And the thing is, like and back in the day when McCollum was on the Blazers, there was like some clip on the internet, and some fan wrote like, yeah, why don't you try winning a championship? And it was my favorite answer was by McCollum himself, got on Twitter and said, "We're trying, Jennifer." Just most honest, like we're trying.
We're trying. I mean,
it's
like,
hard.
Listen, we show up 82 times a year,
Yeah.
and we play, and
But I do like that response. Like, people criticize me for not wanting to win. Like, you don't know what I do. Like, we can't. If you're gonna just look at rings at the end, why do you watch the game? Why do you watch it every week? Because
that's exactly how I feel about basketball.
just
Why
read
watch
the
the
list.
regular season?
just read a list. You know what I mean? Like, read a list of champions in any sport.
Yeah.
If all you're gonna care about is rings, because like if you're watching for greatness, then you get that every night. If you watch guys compete, you get that every night, unless there's to take a night off for what's it called?
Load management.
Load management.
Those words, it bother me.
But the thing is, like, you see it in the NFL too, right? Like the whole thing, like, well, Montana never lost to the Super Bowl. Yeah, every year they didn't win, he lost that Super Bowl, and like it doesn't matter. Like,
Okay, so are you a LeBron over MJ guy? No, you're an MJ guy.
I'm a both guy.
You're
like
a both guy. Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Why can't you be a both guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a Peeze guy because I got to watch LeBron and Jordan. Like, do I think Charles Barkley sucked because he never ring? No, he was amazing.
He's a fucking
Patrick
loser.
Ewing was never won a championship. He was amazing.
Sweats so much. Nobody sweats more than
A
Patrick.
natural.
Nobody
he-
sweats more than Patrick. Ewing.
He sweat.
He looks at a towel and he gets wet.
He sweat like Danny Glover in Predator 2. Like nobody sweat.
Never
like-
seen it.
Oh my god, it's terrible.
So I watched I've been watching westerns lately
Why?
because I want to write a western. Did you came up with this idea? I was
Cool.
like, I'm gonna write either a story.
You know they're racist, right?
Yeah,
Largely.
plenty. Yeah. So I'm writing a short story or a script or a movie. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna write, but I'm doing
From
something.
the perspective of the Aboriginals.
No. Anyway,
More racism.
Underground Railroad stuff. Straight to Montreal
Okay.
from Nashville. It's a nice little story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been watching a bunch of westerns. So I watched this one called Appaloosa,
Okay.
and Donald Glover's in it. Donald, not Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
Okay.
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover.
Danny
He's
Glover.
in. He's
The one
in
who's too old for this shit.
Lethal Weapon. Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
And that was very much too old for this shit.
That was so good, Eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So him and
Why don't you quote Predator 2?
it is exactly what I hate about westerns, but also exactly what I like about westerns. That everybody in a stressful shootout, these guys are accurate.
Yeah.
So accurate.
Because that's what was happening.
Yeah.
My favorite quote about Predator 2 comes from the movie Horrible Bosses 2, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, where
I haven't seen.
Jason Bateman's character says, I like Predator 2. Well, I like Predator also, not the sequel. It's terrible. So we have a new segment. You've heard of the improv cliche of yes and?
Yeah.
We're going to put that on its head. It's called no but.
Oh, no buts. I'm
So
like, how many times have I said no but and I've gone into an argument with my girlfriend?
there we go.
Yeah.
We know this. We both know this well.
No
So-
but. What do
Tall Polish girls specifically.
So we're going to no cheeks, man, no cheeks. We're going no but. So we'll start talking. I'll start, for example, and then anytime you want to interrupt me, you change the subject.
No but.
Ideally, you want to change the subject at the point where it's getting to a crescendo, where we're finally going to make a point, where we're finally going to, and just make it as irritating as possible
Very
to the
cool.
audience and everyone in this room.
I mean, it's perfect.
So what I'm going to start with is Van Affleck said he was down to return to anything Zack Snyder ever does because he loves Zack Snyder.
Who's Zack Snyder?
He directed Justice
300.
League and the Batfleck
Okay, so
Batman movie.
action movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he said, but he also said that he didn't want to ever work on Batman again specifically because of how terrible Batman fans are to the franchise, which I feel that all the time.
It's very true because I watched the Robin Pattinson one, the newest one.
Yeah.
Batman, whatever it's called.
The Bat.
The Bat and the Batman. whatever the fuck. And I was like, oh, it's pretty good. But then,
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
like people were hating on it. And I don't know why.
Well, because that's the worst. You can't make something good that people are passionate about. Like Star Wars fans are like this too,
Okay.
right? Like anytime there's this passionate fan base, they can't wait to like shit on the new thing because they don't like the old thing.
Okay, so this is no but. Ben Affleck, romantic Batman.
Okay, like him and Matt Damon.
Like a Batman dating sim, like a Bruce Wayne.
We haven't seen a Batman be like really romanticized. I mean, like we've seen her want him and him want her, but kind of like, but Batman we're talking about, not Bruce Wayne.
So like a Batman rom-com.
Like Batman rom-com, taking people on dates,
So my nickname for Natalia
really
early on,
throw people off there.
my nickname for Natalia early
Get
on
those nerds
when we
real
were
pissed.
dating was Talia, and Talia al Ghul and Batman hook up. That's how they create Damian Wayne, and she got me this comic book where at one point Batman has sex with Talia al Ghul, but he's still wearing the cowl. He's completely naked, but he's just wearing the cowl. So I've tried to introduce this in the bedroom several times.
And
Nope.
of course,
Hard no.
I love
Hard
it.
no.
I love it. But
No, but what's the weirdest thing you tried to do in the bedroom
I tried to flip the mattress once.
while having sex?
Yeah,
Okay.
squeaking.
Right? It's like, it's not working.
Let's change it up here. Why are we slanted to my side of the bed?
Fair.
So instead of changing position, you change the mattress.
Yeah, it's a heavy mattress. Dude.
You flip the mattress like, I'm not in the mood anymore. You only roll over and fall asleep. Hey,
No,
this
but
side's
it's-
really comfortable.
No, but it's because I heard it was optimal for lovemaking.
Well, but you didn't change subject. You said no, but.
Oh, it's a good point. I really fucked that one up.
I was waiting. I
That
was
was
like,
an accident too. I said no, but it was by accident.
no, but so Shaq was being served papers for his involvement with
FTX.
FTX, yeah. And he's currently evading the process server by hiding out his house. And Eagle, you want to put this picture up? This keeps making the rounds on Twitter, and there's times where Twitter
Shaq
wins.
gonna go to jail?
No. that Shaq hiding behind a tree
That's
is one
unbelievable.
of the best pictures I've ever seen.
That's unbelievable.
I feel like it actually looks like that.
Okay, no, but what are those guys talking about in the corner right there?
Mm.
They're at a wine shop.
Those
so I
two,
imagine
those
it's
two
something
old
pretentious.
Italian guys in the back. What are they talking about right there?
The last night's bocce scores.
They're going through like the league stats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like with flag football, but instead it's bocce. League-wide, worldwide bocce.
yeah. Is there a worldwide bocce league?
I'm sure there is.
I mean, there's a computer in front of you.
No, but Eagle doesn't use it.
Ah, okay,
Eagle,
okay.
have you ever actually produced a show where you've done any work?
I try not to, honestly. Like
Sometimes he
my
has
goal
to.
is to just sit here and do as little as possible. And the whole idea was the more I can optimize and macro in as little sets as we can possibly make, the less I have to do. The more the volumes are correct, the less I have to do.
Oh, by the way,
It's
we
just a
gotta
matter of
correct the
just-
volumes. I listened to the show and it's just weird.
Yeah, the
Audio
volumes
stuff.
are completely.
Yeah.
It's more because it's you.
It's also this box. Is this a new box?
It's a brand new box.
Yeah,
Well, not that box.
Oh,
not
no.
this one. Not the one we actually have to replace.
So yeah, so I've been waiting to see you. Every time I ask him, he says Peeze is supposed to pick one.
Yeah,
Pick one.
yeah. I'm sorry. I will. I forget all the time.
Because this episode's brutal for me right now. I'm going in my ears,
yeah,
going in
me too.
and out.
It's
the
on. It's
entire
1
time.
year only, and I
Oh
didn't.
my- and
I
you're
haven't heard the
half-deaf.
clips.
You're lucky you're half deaf.
Absolutely. Eagle, what would you say your best attribute as a producer is? No, but I'd like to thank you for showing up and doing some work today. Terry, thank you for everything you've done. And most of all, I want to thank you all for letting me be myself.
Sign Lamar Jackson.
Rate, review, subscribe.